All right, we're back here, folks. Sorry about that. Had a little technical difficulties here. I was talking about Tropical Storm Barry and its track right now. And it does look like that parts of Indiana, Illinois, and Ohio, areas that don't need the rain, are going to get some more rain, according to this track map here. We even have a couple of tracks that have it going into upstate New York. So we'll have to keep our eyes on it as well for us. Mike's weather page is our go-to. Here's a look at our weather map for the United States. And really the big newsmaker is Barry. A few thunderstorm warnings out there in South Dakota and in North Carolina as well. But the main threat is all the flash flooding in Mississippi, Louisiana, parts of Arkansas, parts of Missouri in the near future, western Tennessee. Tornado warnings as well, tornado watches throughout most parts of Louisiana and southern Mississippi, near the Mississippi River. So all the flooding that we have already down there is about to become even a little bit more intense. As here is a live look at our radar situation right now. Plenty of heavy moisture moving through New Orleans and moving further up north into Mississippi along that Mississippi River. Again, this storm is going to be here for a little while. So what kind of precipitation are we looking at? What are we looking at as far as totals? And they have kind of sort of backed down a little bit on the rain totals. They were calling for around 20 inches of rain, and I do believe that we have some spots that could see rain totals that high on the coast. But overall, I think they've pretty much pulled back on the 20 inches on the majority of the area. But I did get a couple of areas to talk about, or articles to talk about with this storm. Here we go. Tropical Storm Barry may be weakening inland, but its dangerous impacts will persist in the lower Mississippi Valley, including potential for significant river flooding and flash flooding parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, and Tennessee. Barry continues to move slowly over Louisiana as a tropical storm with a forward speed of only 5 to 10 miles an hour after making landfall on early Saturday afternoon near the intercoastal city, Louisiana. Barry's odd lopsided appearance continues with most of its rain falling on the east and southern sides of the storm due to the dry air to the west and the northwest of Barry. And that really, that dry air that was in the north, and it was right in this vicinity right here. We had a pocket of drier air that was here yesterday when this landfall happened, and we were watching the radar and the moisture from the tropics, or the Gulf I should say. Everything here was in the yellow, but when it got to landfall, it changed over to green. And it made me wonder, this northern air that was the northern part of the storm system that had dry air that was falling into the storm, I think really that is the key factor on why they have lowered some of these rainfall totals down here, because that dry air kind of impacted the amount of moisture that they were expecting in the first place. Still looking at some significant flooding though, folks. I'm not trying to downplay this in any way. Still looking at significant flooding. Bands of heavy rain continue to stream over southern Louisiana and Mississippi, prompting flash flood warnings in some areas. In Jackson, Mississippi, a car was pulled from floodwater early Sunday morning. One street in the city of Petal, Mississippi was covered by 2 feet of water. Over 4 inches of rain has fallen near Lafayette, Louisiana. A stretch of State Highway 83 was closed near Lydia, Louisiana due to flooding on Sunday. A tornado watch is in effect for parts of eastern Louisiana and Mississippi, including Baton Rouge and Jackson, Mississippi, until 7 p.m. Central Time today. Local media reported damage on the east side of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, from the National Weather Service said would likely a tornado late Sunday morning. Livingston Parish law enforcement notes that power lines were down near Watson, Louisiana, from what they refer to as a likely tornado. Forecast track for Barry, here it is. It's going to continue to move northwest for the time being, and then start to make its hook towards Indiana, Illinois, Indiana, and the Ohio Valley. And it's expected to go through Arkansas and Missouri as well. Flash flood watches remain in effect for Kentucky, western Tennessee, all of Mississippi, parts of Alabama near Mobile, Lake Charles, Louisiana, New Orleans, of course, Little Rock, Arkansas, Paducah, Kentucky, Let me tell you something. Paducah has been in the news a lot this year. We had 2 significant weather events that happened in Paducah this year where they don't usually experience that kind of weather. This is at least the 3rd time I've mentioned Paducah when it comes to flash flood watches. So very active seasons for these folks. And of course, they're on the Ohio River and they do see a little bit more flooding. But just wanted to know that this year they've been in the news for more than just flooding as well. Here's some of those rainfall forecasts through Tuesday. Again, that 5 to 8 window looks a lot better than what we were seeing originally when we were having the possibility of 12 to 18 inches. And that is, now, mind you, New Orleans already saw 8 inches of rain on top of what we got from this storm as well. Here's a look at the river flooding forecast. Lots of rivers will go into moderate to major flood stages, while some will just be in the minor. And I'm pretty sure we have a lot of flooding going on along the Mississippi that is considered major as well. That's not being reported at this time. So what's next for the storm, Barry? Barry downpour is next to aim for St. Louis to Pittsburgh. While the lower Mississippi Valley is bearing down for the brunt of Barry, downpours will spread across the mid-Mississippi and Ohio valleys on Monday into Wednesday with localized flooding dangers. After Barry made a landfall of a Category 1 hurricane midday Saturday, the storm has significantly lost wind intensity, but Barry is expected to become a tropical rainstorm on Monday as its bands of rain and thunderstorms expect to expand farther into the north, into the mid-Mississippi and lower Ohio valleys. The rain will target mainly the mid-Mississippi and the lower Ohio valleys on Tuesday before moving the upper Ohio Valley Wednesday. So more flooding to be expected. A quick 1 to 2 inches of rain in low-lying areas could cause flooding really fast. And this is what we're expecting for much of Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Illinois. Barry is going to go through right Indianapolis, Dayton, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, and moving on eastward as we move further into the week by Thursday and Friday. Now, by the way, the week may end in widespread highs in the 90s with highs between 95 in Ohio and 105 during the Midwest. And here's what's going to be a real big factor with this, guys, too. Not only are we going to see some heat coming up, and let me show you the GFS map. I'll screw this up just a little bit. So right in this region here, we are expecting a little bit of a heat wave, especially up here in upstate New York, where highs are expected to get in the 90s. On top of that, 100% humidity with dew points in the 70s. Now we know why. There's going to be a lot of tropical moisture in the air Wednesday, and that's when the high temperatures start here as well, here in the upstate New York area. Wednesday, tropical moisture, humidity, just oppressive conditions for most of us here in the Northeast. We're not used to that kind of weather, folks. This storm moves off. More moisture comes into the area for Ohio Valley, Kentucky, Tennessee, upstate New York, and the Great Lakes, Wisconsin, Minnesota, South Dakota. The monsoon season continues out in the New Mexico, Arizona region. And really some light shower activity past this week. Next week's going to look almost okay. Notice some snow up there in Canada, folks. Alberta, BC area. Watch out. July snow. That's normal. Again, more light showers developing next weekend. Same thing for the upper Great Lakes. A storm system or two. And by early week, the week after, 8 days out, more precipitation is expected to fall in the Ohio Valley. The south, once again, starts to pick up on intensity. The track where we saw hurricane or tropical storm Barry, again, that area is going to continue to be saturated. By midweek of the 24th of July, severe thunderstorms across the East Coast, so we'll be ready for that. And just an overall wet pattern for the mid-month of July. Actually, these next couple of days might be a little bit moderate after Barry moves through, but after that, we start to see the rain picking up once again in frequency and intensity as well. Another thing we don't see, and this is the last day we can get to, July 30th. The one thing we don't see in this run was any potential for any more Atlantic or Gulf Coast systems, to my knowledge. So, again, We are in the dead smack middle of summer, and we do expect it to be hot. But the rain is continuing to fall, and we spoke about this a couple of shows back where we have now had 3 months in a row where we've had record 12-month precipitation, and that continues. July is not going to be any different. It may not shatter the records like it did in June, but I still feel that we will see higher than normal amounts of precipitation, especially in Dayton, Ohio, where they were sitting in the 30-inch range for rain last month for the entire year. Seattle is sitting at 14-something inches of rain for the year. So you can see places like Dayton, Ohio is getting way more rain than places like Seattle should be getting. But looking at temperatures, guys, highs really struggling to get in the 80s in Ohio. By the 13th, we start to see the 80s now creeping back in the Ohio Valley. Again, northeast staying warm towards the coast, but if you move central New York like Syracuse or Buffalo, you will notice the temperatures are going to be quite comfortable in the mid-70s. Not bad for July 14th, by the way, folks. And here we can see in the temperature readings that Barry is affecting in these areas. This is today's temperature, so we can see with that hurricane, it's got temperatures in Arkansas for daytime highs of 69 degrees. As the storm continues to move, you can see it on the temperature map too, guys. Look at that. Here's Monday as it approaches the Ohio Valley. And then by Tuesday, still see those temperature differences. Yep, that's caused by your storm. Meanwhile, the south and the central plains are heating up. Arizona, Southern California. We get out to midweek here. That storm starts to make its exit through the northeast. Again, you can see the temperature difference with all the moisture that we're going to have in the northeast, in New York. Mid-70s, maybe high 60s in some spots. And that system finally moves out of here Wednesday into Thursday, and then we start to see temperatures getting back to normal like summer conditions. Kansas, western Kansas, you guys are going to be really hot next week. Starting on Thursday, 101 degrees is going to be the forecasted high for the Almena and Norton, Kansas region. Parts of Nebraska also looking at upper 90s. Across the East Coast, North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, back into those summertime temperatures of 90s to 100s. And really just moderate temperatures for the Northwest. I mean, 60 degrees is daytime high out in Portland and Washington. Give me a break. Most of the country will be summer-like conditions as we get into Saturday, July 20th. And then moving towards the end of the month, summer still has a pretty good grip on the majority of the country. But watch out in the Great Lakes regions and the Northern Plains as we start to see some cooling happening here on July 23rd. A high in parts of Iowa, only 74 degrees. Colorado dipping down into the 50s for highs. So a huge shrinkage of heat. And we can see on this map that there's a lot of green in Canada for the nighttime lows, trying to creep its way back into the United States. 70s across most of the region in the Midwest. This is end of July, folks. Ohio temperature should be near 90 degrees at this point. And we're simply not seeing it. And a lot of the reason why we're not seeing it is all the moisture. Our soil is saturated. We do know that moisture causes cooling. And that's exactly what is going on. And look at this map here too, guys. You can see it here where we're experiencing our monsoon rain season. Where's my handy dandy? Oh, come on. I think it's gone. That's my fault this time. Again, I always find a way to fling it out of sight. But here, I'll use this. Look at this right here. And right here. This is where the majority of the monsoon rains are. So you can tell this rain is cooling things down. Boy, that low green, look at that, 40s. Canada pushing its way into western New York, northern Ohio, Michigan. A crispy 48 degrees for your daytime low. And on July 27th, Saturday, 65 degrees near Detroit for a high. Central Syracuse, New York. This map has to be wrong. 69 degrees, July 26th in Syracuse. Evening temperatures in the low 50s. Overnight temperatures almost near 40. Morning temperatures on oh, good Lord. Again, for this region right here, to be this cool. 71, 73, 75 in northern Indiana, 75 in Dayton, Ohio, 74 in Cincinnati. Across parts of Iowa, 76, 72, Illinois, Indiana, all in the 70s, Minnesota, Wisconsin, North Dakota, even parts of Nebraska, folks. These are the areas that we have seen the most problems with crops. And we're just not getting that heat that these crops need to grow. It's just not happening, at least according to GFS. Is there any kind of heat wave on the horizon at the end of July? Maybe. Not so far. July 30th, most of the heat stay in Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. That's about generally where it does stay when it's hot. And in the south, daytime highs in Toledo, Ohio, 69 degrees, July 29th. Again, mostly 70s by the end of the month in July. For Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, this is daytime high, Tuesday, July 30th. If you would have told me that I'd have an 83-degree day near Atlanta, Georgia on July 30th, I would have told you you're silly. 83 degrees is not very hot, folks, for Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, there's heat on the map. It's there. Look at the Rockies. Look at parts of Wyoming and Utah. And obviously the green that's showing up, those are higher elevations, but it's July. And why are we seeing higher elevations cooling down in the mid-50s in July? Maybe that has something to do with it. It's cooling on almost every level of the atmosphere. So, pretty much in a nutshell, guys, we got a wonky month coming up with precipitation, some pretty strange temperature readings. You know, when I saw Dr. Roy Spencer's temperatures for June, they went up to 0.47 above baseline. I was worried, you know, it's kind of concerned with July because this is the heat of the month or the heat of the summer right here. But is it? Let's check out what we're going to be looking at in Europe temperature-wise. We had record heat waves there already. Spain and Portugal, nothing's going to change for you guys. But across the majority of Europe, this is normal summertime weather. Here we are, mid-July. In Fahrenheit, we would say these are 70s and 80s, low 70s and 80s. UK, just perfect weather as far as temperatures go. Gets a little hotter here. We get into late July in Italy, parts of France. And as we go through the month, towards the end, we start that heat to kind of just continue to intensify in the southern part of Europe. So we definitely have a concern for heat in Europe, in southern Europe as well. Italy and Africa, extreme heat, it looks like. But again, that's pretty normal for them in their summertime. So significant temperatures possible for Central Europe again, possibly by late July. But definitely for the southern part of Europe, Italy as well. Parts of Spain, France as well, Portugal. Not as widespread as the last one, but still we are going to be dealing with some difficult temperatures in the near future. Let's take a look at one more region as far as temperatures go. Meanwhile, while I'm doing this, Mara, you want to come on over here and say hello to everybody?
I would love to do that, Jake. We have a lovely crew in the chat as always. Wow, Henrik, super chat, thank you. We haven't seen Henrik in the chat live, and it's Henrik, possibly, you know, it's not
the daytime
that late.
Schedule.
Yeah, the daytime, and we've been talking about trying to figure out a good day to do a daytime show.
And this is why I wanted to kind of do a mid-afternoon show.
Brothers from over the pond. So, let's see where I'm going here. We have a decent amount of mods in the chat, too. I want to thank Matt Bros, Jessica, Henrik. I don't know if I've missed someone else in the chat. It's possible. Thank you for modding and helping me out. It's hard for me to catch everything. You guys are doing an excellent job. Someone in the chat said, oh, actually, it was a user called History Always Repeats. And they put, GSM needs to become sexy, for people to pay attention to it. To what Henrik responds to as, you just need to buy a GSM shirt and you'll be sexy, LOL.
It's all the sexy you'll need, right?
Henrik just makes me laugh. I'd like to thank some people that I should have done when they actually donated, but it's from PayPal and I get the notifications and I don't check. So thank you, Mohammed, Eileen, Kelly, RK Pearson, and also our Patreon supporters for keeping us going on our channel. And most likely what you guys are powering is our website, keeping that information up.
Yep.
Check out the Maunder Minimum link on the main page. You can see the historical data that I'm putting in so you guys can just learn from history, really. A lot of people are talking in the chat about Ice Age Farmers video with all the canned goods and everything.
That's where I got my info from.
So I actually sent a message to Del Monte asking them if they had a statement about what is going on. It'd be interesting to hear right from them what's going on. I'll probably call them as well to see if I could get more information. Sort of press these vendors and for the truth.
Yeah.
Tell us what's going on. Why is it a nationwide shortage on all the shelves? Not only Walmart, but also Kroger and other stores. We're seeing it firsthand on social media. It started out, I saw it when someone shared in our Facebook group an empty shelf. And then I went to Walmart and I saw an empty shelf. And Jake went to a different Walmart and saw more empty shelves. And I started asking people, what are you seeing? Report to us. We have to be alert to this and we have to be communicating with each other. We're a community and we're working together to sort of have a pulse on what's going on. So thank you guys for your involvement in the groups, in the comments, everything. We really, really appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I probably missed something. There's a lot going on. Oh, wait, I got another super chat here. Michael McEwen and Terrence Leonard. Terrence said, thanks for the time and effort. Nothing worthwhile is free. And Michael says, thanks for all your hard work and effort. I've learned a lot about GSM from your channel.
Great.
A lot of people like the solar cycles video that we had last. So I'm definitely going to be doing more of those. I'm glad you guys appreciate that.
And guys, not to sound cliche or cheesy, but we do appreciate the donations because that allows us to have more quality productions. That allows us more time to make quality videos such as the solar cycle one that Maria put together for everybody. So again, we do appreciate donations that you guys send to us. It's much, much appreciated. All right, that's going to do it for us tonight, guys. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter. Also, check us out on our Patreon channel, as we are beginning to start to put some content together to put on that channel as well. We have an interview on there from a podcast called Moving Iron. We will probably continue to filter more interviews and videos onto our Patreon and YouTube channels. Again, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. When you do, click on the notification that says all notifications. That way you get a push notification whenever Grand Solar Minimum goes live. That's going to do it for us today, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We will be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, we will talk soon.
Do you like this show? Give us a thumbs up. Want to support us more? Share to your favorite social media platform. Buy a t-shirt or become a Patreon. All links are in the description below.